this, it knows that
Maybe it's the way I do it. Maybe I just have the
no,
style.
I don't think so. I think it is far more Jesus. I think it's far more likely it's because of what I just said.
I'm still the second person on, so it
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the second person on. Here, hold on a second. Just one moment.
I'll
Just
leave
one.
and come back. You want me to
Nope.
leave and come back?
One moment.
All right.
1 second. I'll leave. Just a second.
All right. Well, good riddance. And so
Okay.
now we're this is the more exciting part of the after hours podcast, where like visual things are happening, but for our podcast listeners who are dedicated to the after hours portion of this
Oh yeah.
this event,
None of that.
that is what happened.
Live. Maybe it's because you're streaming. Because you're Are you streaming through Discord?
Nope.
Huh.
I'll leave.
All right.
I'll be like, I'll peace out. I'm out. You guys
the
talk amongst yourself.
live. The live is the fact that you're doing the live stream.
Yeah, no,
That's
but that's
what it
not
is.
me. That's not me. The person
No. I see what
doing
you're saying.
live
It says live because
stream
you're sharing your screen.
is like this.
Oh.
That's doing the live stream. It's not me.
Yeah. Let me try to share my screen. Can I?
He's
share
saying it's
Okay.
because he's saying it's because where you share the stream on our end so we can watch it. That's why it
Oh,
says
yeah.
live on your
No, I
end.
get
that's what
you.
it says. That's what it says.
Yeah.
That.
I froze.
You
Can
froze?
you tell that I froze? I'm frozen.
Yeah, you're
I
frozen. on
thought
the
you were just practicing your ventriloquist act.
screen.
I was totally practicing that. I don't know.
Now you're frozen.
Well, I'm gonna unfreeze. I mean, it's not a flattering picture of me that's up
Oh,
there.
you look
either.
fine. You look great.
Yeah, no.
I
I said I was gonna leave and come back. I'm gonna leave and come back. It does say that I'm live. I think that just says that I'm live. All right.
Let's see.
Let me leave. It won't let me leave. All right, bye.
You can't leave. He's gone. He's gone forever. Now let me see if I. Doesn't work. You try. I hate you. It just works on yours. Why does it work on yours and no one else's?
I don't know. I looked for the way to turn it off because it's like I'm the kind of person that I want to turn off the little green box around my freaking
Yeah.
box. I want to turn that off. I don't want people to know that I'm talking.
I do.
I mean, I don't really care, but
That's good. It's a signal to them.
Because what it does is it masks, like if you fart really loud or burp, like it comes up, it pops up. It's like, oh, it's that. It's like, that guy right there that did that. It's
right.
not.
I'm pretty sure I've done that a couple times, and I'm like,
like they know.
Right. So the game, we can't really talk about the haunt because it's all drama. We can tell you a little bit about the game, Drizzle, although I did a fast forward. Hey, chat, guess what? There's such a thing as called a fast forward. And if you watch that, you'll get the sense of what happened in the game. Like the highlights is what it is. And I do one for every session since the last 3 or 4. So yeah, if you ever want to go back and check
a quick recap.
Yeah, it's a quick recap. They're between
it's quick
5
to watch,
and 30 minutes.
But it doesn't take you. It takes you time. It takes you time to make that fast forward.
It takes a long time.
It does. It does. It takes time. And the funnier we are, the more time it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. But my deal is like, I'm just going for the highlights, and it's not a big deal. Like I have to stop myself from being like, oh wait, no, I need that one and that one and that one in those moments. Instead, I just want the big moments, and I'm trying to highlight every one in every fast forward at least once. That's the goal. But if Holker doesn't talk, then I put him up there, and his reaction is this,
Yeah.
and that's it, and that's pretty funny. I've done less and less and less effects. I realized, the point of it, it's not supposed
Yep.
to be the super engaging whatever. It's supposed to be, hey, I want to know what happened last session, but I don't want to watch 4 hours of it.
Previously on.
Good.
That was just it. It was previously on.
Yeah. And 30 minutes is like a normal 20-30 minutes is a normal YouTube video. So that's not too bad.
Sure.
But I do try to make it less.
I've noticed that on Instagram, like I watch a lot of things and I want to see the text of what they're saying because I don't listen to it. So I mean, I think that is when you do those, I think that you can change the font on the because you're using
generation.
Premiere. And on the generation, and I don't think it has to be like beautiful or anything, but I think that's all they do is they put some color and they change the font.
Well, honestly,
on
most
the generation.
people that I see those text things on, there's mistakes. It's almost part of it.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
The mistake and
if you
stuff,
get the
it's
gist,
almost part of it.
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. If it's like obvious and it's right there, I'll change it. But otherwise, my goal is to spend less than 30 minutes on it. And if I'm not careful, it's like 2 hours. So that ain't cool. Anyway,
one more question. One
go
more
on.
question. But so, because I love interrupting you during this part because I feel like this part I get to speak, whereas the other parts you get to railroad me. But it's about Simon, and so like, tell us a secret about Simon, like something that nobody knows about. Is that?
Well, that
can
was,
you
I
do
mean, in all fairness, that was the big secret. That was the big turning point in the story, was about him not believing because of Albert. Because as we talked about earlier, like that, if he hit the breaking point, that was going to be what would change him from a skeptic to someone who fights it.
Right.
But now he has the outs with the Nightshade, so he's got a reason to still not necessarily believe. I mean, who knows? It could still change more depending on what happens next in the future. But if you want a different secret, he does not feel bad about hitting a 90-year-old lady.
If it makes you feel any better, she's not 90.
Yeah, she's probably older than that.
Yeah, she's.
I was interested in how you guys were going to deal with this session, because there's an element of the storytelling where you want to pull back, you want to like show some shit, but also keep the tension instead of just showing the entire monster.
Right.
But that pulling back can get annoying, because there's the point where, like in a series, where you realize, oh, they're not gonna tell you, like the two people that never meet, if they just met, then the thing would happen. They're just not gonna meet till the last episode. And the moment you realize that, all the tension's gone anyway. So my point in saying that is, in this session, it was interesting because you guys had really taken the story to the edge. I mean, you're making such strong decisions that you have to see something. And that's what you're trying to do, whether that was conscious or not, I would say it's the idea. Like Nord, machine gun Kelly style, asking questions like, tell me the answer, tell me the answer, tell me the answer, tell me the answer, to who you assume is the bad guy. What you gonna do? Stall? Like, there's only so much of the stalling. In my mind, that character can act within her character, and if that means not answering, then that means not answering. But
Sure.
or if that means being cryptic, it's because she's cryptic. But if she's just like, and here's something enigmatic to say, it feels cheap. Because then the player drops out of the fiction and goes, okay, well, what do I have to spend or
Yeah.
roll
Well,
to
and
make
that's
this
why
happen? Yeah.
that's why Nord was thinking about killing her, because like none of his
Well-
questions were answered, or very
They were
few
answered.
of his questions.
They were answered. She was being cryptic because she could. And I think that's the thing, is that character and all of the characters, my mentality on them is they have a goal, a need, and a want. And I literally write this down. And so the idea is that there are at least that many dimensions. And I can always fall back on, okay, well, what does this serve their purpose? And or are they being forced?
Sure.
So Loretta
Well-
Levon was being forced to say what she said.
Sure. But
Lady Callie
Nord,
wasn't.
like a little insight into Nord's brain is that Nord's being programmed. He's being auditioned to join or be a part of this.
That is 100%.
And that is like
And you learned
he's
that.
getting they're basically saying, we want you.
He's getting the
And he's
treatment.
like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
You
this
learned
is
a
not-
whole lot indirectly,
is
which
not-
was the thing. Like, you guys learned where the masquerade was. And the reason you learned is because Leah came in and bluffed.
Yeah.
Straight up, she was like, so it's here, right? And they were like, yeah. I mean, she bluffed
Yeah.
her way through that interrogation and got a lot of information.
But
And then Go on.
no, please.
You talking to Lady Callie, while she didn't say, listen, here's all the dark, you figured out, oh, she is absolutely a part of it 100%. Whereas after Simon had Bulldozer, there was the benefit of the doubt that could have been given to her. It could have been given to her. Even for Simon, you know, the moment that the drugs were involved, which you guys didn't know, I knew. That's a point where Simon could have been like, wait a minute, maybe we're wrong. Maybe I just hit an old woman. But because of the way you guys played it, you forced that hand for her to reveal she's absolutely a part of something, assuming it's not all a hallucination. I mean, she's
But
sitting there with like a fucking devil grin. Like,
I,
obviously, going back in the house and seeing that fucking shit, like, that's pretty. You learn a lot.
I would have interrogated her if we. That was my plan. I was saving bad cop for that bid because I was gonna. There would have been a phone book. There would have been.
Oh. I was gonna get a phone book. Is there a phone book in here?
I was afraid. I mean, Nord was
It's
afraid
82.
that
There's phone book.
any violence that we threw down on her, that we would not be prepared to. Or there were two things that were gonna happen. She was gonna just blow us up, or like she was gonna fuck us up. Like, it was one of the two. Like, or disappear, just kind of phase off into the ethereal. You know, not like if you were gonna attack her in any way that she was like, well, I'm just gonna peace out like these
Well,
girls did.
She when I hit her, she was hurt.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
So
Yeah, there is, as I said before, there is a method to the madness. And for example, with Andrea, that's why I think we did this off stream, or I did this off stream. I asked her, "Hey, are you cool with what happened? I want to make sure as a player, you understand that there is a reason that it happened, and it's not like, oh, you fucked up, as in you got punished. This is the fourth time that I've been like, there's something sneaking up behind you. There is something sneaking up behind you." And on the fourth time, and it's like, cool, I go up there and I blow everything up. And I'm like, all right, well, the thing that's sneaking up behind you actually does get to you eventually. And she paid the price for it. But it's not curtains for her, right? It's just a big deal.
It
And
seems like it was close. It was like taking her up to the line and saying, you know, you've made some bad choices.
narrative wise, she died. Like,
Yeah.
like she went below mechanically. That's death. That's character death.
Sure.
But a mechanic, and the reason it's there is to burn a point of breath. So your max is 4, now it's 3, and there's a reason, and that's part of her story.
Sure.
And so you fold that in the fiction. Well, how did she not die? And in this game, she got knocked out. But there's this element of that will start coming into her story of she is different, and she's going to start seeing that. You know, something did happen, and I want her to. I hope that it's on her brain as a player that she can pull into the character of what Cloyce said to her, of, "Don't worry, you'll come back. You're going to be just like me," which may be a lie, but I want that to. I think that was one of the coolest parts, like what happened to Nord, talking to Lady Callie, Leah with Cloyce, Simon. Simon hasn't been overtly evil. No one has been evil, but Simon has been a pretty straight and narrow dude. But tonight, I think that got close. I think Simon was on the edge of doing what Leah does.
Yeah, but Simon didn't kill anybody.
No, but I think he would have. I
Yeah.
think Simon was being pushed. I mean, what do you think?
I don't think he
Because you're
would have
Simon.
killed it. Yeah, I know. No, last game with the Commandant, he would have probably killed the Commandant.
Well, it's self-defense though.
What about
Well, yeah,
the old guy in the back of in his back seat?
He probably wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah,
But-
there's a difference between self-defense and like the rest of you, save for, or I should say Leah and Nord. Leah and Nord have just murdered people.
Yeah.
Nord had a suspicion. Every single person that he's murdered had a there was a shadow of reality, like, and you know, it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from.
He didn't
He
for
didn't
no
get it-
reason. He had a reason.
He had a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that it was like, you know, kill or be killed. And Nord has been in that situation enough times in his world travels where, like, if you get mugged, sometimes you gotta stab first. Sometimes you gotta defend yourself.
Yeah.
And that is where he's at. And that's where Leah's at. And that's why, like, you know, if you're not from cookie cutter America, and certainly in Detroit in 1982, like, if you want to live, sometimes you gotta
You live in a van. Like,
Yeah.
Nord lives in a van. He's dealt with bullshit, you know?
you dealt, like, he handled William Tibbets. He didn't try
Yeah.
to kill William Tibbets.
No.
He didn't.
Although, I really like that scene. There, I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I didn't create the scene. You created the scene by how you acted, and then we were able to play with each other on that. But I like that scene because there's a lot to unpack, and William Tibbets is an enigma character because he's not only there to bring exposition. Like, there is something going on, and tonight Nord got to freak out with him and get some foreshadowing of foreshadowing is really the wrong word, a tie-in to a couple things that have happened.
Sure. It sounds like William Tibbets was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got snarled in. Not even by, it's like whatever it is, like he is a byproduct from the connection that I made from that scenario. Like,
he actually dropped
wasn't. Yeah, he dropped a lot, but I'm saying the reason why he was affected, the reason why he was one of the unwilling. I don't think he was willing. He didn't even know, and I don't even think they know. I think he was affected because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they didn't know, or maybe they did. But like that's kind of where I'm at.
And this is good. I want all of what you just said.
Right. So yeah, there's a lot of underlying like madness inside of that.
There's a lot of story, and in writing this, I had to be careful because if I'm not, I get into the world building, and then you have like way too many things going on. There is a through line, but there's a world happening, and as opposed to the Richmond Fay game where the world is just happening, in this one it does have to do with itself. It's not necessarily this to this to this to this, but William Tibbets matters to the story.
Sure.
If you don't pursue it, it's not like, oh, you're never going to figure anything out.
Sure. But he drops some bombs and
he knows shit.
He knows shit, and the reason he knows shit is because he's a byproduct of the society. He was out on the streets when something went down, and he was connected to it. It was incidental. It happened. It wasn't like he was a target, but now he's a part of it. Clearly a part of it because Lady Callie was talking to him through William, and their own way. And Nord was like, Am I on the drugs again? Is it all happening? Like I mean, clearly the anti-poison is not as good.
I need some more opium. Drizzle, you are the doctor of horror. What do you think about this? Would you consider this a horror game, or would you consider it something else?
Oh no, I would consider it a horror game.
Yeah, tell me about it and such.
Well, first off, you've got zombies. It is definitely more cosmic horror. So, cosmic horror is more you don't know what is causing it. That it is an outside force that is stronger, and our minds can't necessarily comprehend it. So, all the Cthulhu games and stuff like that are cosmic horror, but it's like I'm trying to go looking at this through multiple lenses, and because first off, you got the fish stuff. Fish stuff is Cthulhu.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if that's necessarily what you're going for with that, or if it is just that a different thing altogether. Because like with Lady Callie being Native American, like that's not Cthulhu-ish, I don't think.
You gotta be careful with when I was obviously this is Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu inspired heavily,
Right?
But because of course, especially in gaming and the way you run a horror game, you gotta be real careful. I've noticed with H.P. Lovecraft, because he's just a fucking racist.
Yeah.
And so, all of the weird and savagery has to do in H.P. Lovecraft with people that aren't white.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason, right? And so when I was designing Lady Callie, I was like, I gotta be careful to not go Cthulhu on it and balance it right. Because even
Well, like-
even the language is what, and the savage such and such of the dark skin, and you're sitting there like, yeah, that's really cool. Wait a minute, is this fucking racist? Yes.
Yeah.
the
No,
answer is it
so
was.
I can I like
Yeah, please.
I've been holding back for 13 episodes on this. If we're gonna
Uh-oh.
go racism,
Uh-huh.
like
Are we
I
gonna
mean,
go racism?
no, I mean I don't think we are, but I've been listening to you and following your Instagram posts and
Mhm.
your social media, and you walk a weird line, and I'm like, it's okay. We're in the okay territory, but I'm definitely, I will say something if I'm like, that ain't right.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You get close sometimes,
With
but
racism? Well, I'm not racist.
no, I don't think
Harry
you're racist.
Buncombe says, "Hail
No.
Satan." I think that's really good. This is a good time. He spent the
don't-
channel points to say, "Hail Satan."
I don't think you're racist at all. But
I'm not.
But we are, like, as a filmmaker, I like to push boundaries.
Sure.
As a human, I like to push boundaries. We push boundaries. That is our intent. If we can't say things, if we're limited to speech of any kind, that is a problem. We are evangelists. We're not the P word because
What?
of Twitch.
Oh.
Evangelists. You can't say it. I mean, to me, that's newspeak. And newspeak is 1984, and you can't say certain things just because things are certain things. And I think we align very closely in a lot of ways, and we've had a lot of political conversations through the course of time. I know who you are. At least I think I know who you are. I don't think you're trying to pull a fast one. My guard is up when you pulled out a First Nation American
bad guy
person. I was kind of like, okay, fuck me. Like,
well, you have to think
what
about
am I? What? No, literally, fuck me. Like, how do I protect myself from this? And it's like, that is a conversation.
Sure.
And I appreciate that. Like, I wanted to wait till you mentioned it. I didn't want to be like, dude, when you pull that shit out, I was like, dude, you can't say that, because I want to know why.
Oh yeah. Well, there's story reasons why Lady Callie is who she is. There's also story reasons why certain characters are Caucasian and certain characters are African American in this story. And a lot of it has to do with where it takes place and the time that it takes place. Like, for example, Gabriella being black. It's not like, oh, I need a black character, so I made her black. You're right? Like, that's not it. It's showing find out, like,
You booped
I
out.
booped
You
out?
gotta say it again. No.
How much did I boop out?
I
You
didn't
booped
hear you
out-
boop out.
You didn't?
Well, I
I
heard you
didn't.
boop out. Oh. Well,
And
maybe
rest-
it's me. Like, I don't
Hey,
know.
chat, did I
Maybe-
boop out?
Well, you
What I
booped
said.
out for them. Because
What I
if you boop out for me, you booped out for them.
Oh man, I
think.
booped. I'm saying that there's a story idea there within the world is how I base things, and I will admit there's points that I'm like, if they're in an area that is by and large white, then they're gonna run into white people, and if they're in an area that's by and large Hispanic or Mexican or whatever, that's the reason those people are that. And that's it. For
Yeah.
Gabriella, it's something that hasn't really come up, but who she is and how she's been described and her name and everything matters. And
Well,
there's
she's an affluent black person, and I
in a
don't think
private
that's
school.
in a private school. But the only thing tropey about that is that she's affluent in a private school.
Right.
When I think about it, she's probably one of a handful of black people in that school. I don't know.
Yep. And I'll be honest as well, because I'm always honest. Am I always? I'm pretty honest. I'm like 75, 85%. There is a rather dark reason. That is not a dark pun, by the way. There's a rather dark reason that she was chosen within the lore. But one of the ways that I skirt, hey, this isn't about racism. It's about what is going on, which I can't talk about because it's all the dark. It's all
The story.
the unknown,
Yeah.
which is what that's called in DreadLore. Secrets. One of the ways I skirt around it is race is not the issue, right? Like when you see the bad guy, that's not tied to a race, or the good guy, and it's not tied to a race. Those things are within the story and the world, and I think it's telling and somewhat unfortunate that the mere mention of another race puts me or puts us on a, oh, what are they going to say?
Yep.
Like the
But
mere mention that this is a
It is
woman.
us. Like when
This
when
is
you
a
say,
woman.
yeah, when you
Boom.
say stuff, it is us. We are
Yeah,
all
sure.
reflective of it. Yeah.
I mean, people are going to claim everything in the world, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things on the Instagram. I'm gonna say, because I don't try to do hateful stuff. I'm gonna say all of the posts. I'm pretty sure that's solid. Are not hateful, and if anything, if they push a political agenda, they push a, hey, look, we need to balance ourselves. We need to look at both sides, or we need to stop being assholes. And that pisses off a lot of people. Specifically, I posted one about, reposted actually, because I'm not making them. I'm just reposting them and usually putting like a little title. Or maybe I'm lazy making them, is what it is. But one of them was this dude talking about the Israeli-Palestine or Israeli-Gaza thing. And that was pretty big. Of course, it's a pretty big topic. But the stance that story posits is not, hey, look, one is right over the other one. Hey, look, here's an angle. It's literally the opposite of that. It's not even in the same dimension. It's, hey, look, people need to stop killing people because we're brothers and sisters. And yes, there's a lot of shit and there's lots of tit for tat, but can we, all of us, rise above it? Because we can. And people don't want to hear it. In the same comment stream, you are an anti-Semite and you're an Arab hater. Somehow by saying, hey, can we rise? And that's the kind of shit that should be said.
Sure.
It's not hateful.
And nobody commented on my really, I mean, and maybe they did, but the Home Sweet Home, I mean, I pretty much went out and said, don't fucking bomb people. I mean, it was
too high-minded. It was too high-minded.
Yeah, it was too.
And cloaked. It was, when I say too, it was high-minded, I should say. It wasn't too high-minded. It was thinly veiled, but veiled enough. I mean, we were all wearing costumes. By the way, Drizzle. So everyone dressed up as who their characters were.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ken, who'd you dress up as?
Oh, I dressed it up as this weirdo, this fucking crazy person called Bill Bunkum. He's awesome.
So I jump on the stream. You should check it out just for that. I jump on the stream and I'm like, haha, you kind of look like me. And everyone starts laughing. And I'm like, what? And they're like, he doesn't get it. And I'm like, what? Oh my God.
Well,
yeah, like he had the widow's peak. He had the gloves. And
I still have the glove.
His face was completely white. He was like, yeah, I think I'm not white enough. I was like, you motherfucker. It's meta
and I had,
too because
like,
he's
dark
acting
circles under my eyes.
Yeah, it was good. It
um,
was good.
Well, at the haunt.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I love fingerless gloves.
Who took that picture? At the haunt, because like, I do a female version of my character.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Like usually once a year.
I think I've seen this version of your character. I've
Well,
seen pictures.
But this year, let me see. I've got to
You
figure out
gender
who took
bend
that
Dr.
picture.
Drizz.
Yeah, because it's Nurse Drizzy. Who took the picture? Back. You guys talk for a second because I'm trying to figure out who. I can't remember who took it.
I was reading in the chat. Also, Harry Buncombe subscribed again.
Nice.
For 6 months.
Thanks, Harry.
Currently on the 6-month streak. Apparently,
Jinx, if you are an Amazon
that's exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly
you can do
what
it. You can,
Holy
you
shit.
you can subscribe anytime, and we get total bonuses for that. So
Oh, we do?
yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that actually gave us.
We do. It gets us money, and I did the thing, and I got to a point, and I was like, I couldn't figure it out. They don't make it easy. So like, if you are an Amazon customer, you have to like tie in your Amazon with Twitch, but you get to subscribe one time for free a month to any channel. So
that's really
like,
cool. That's really cool.
If we had all our friends and family with Amazon Prime accounts, because you know that there are a lot of motherfuckers out there with like Amazon, pardon my French, Prime accounts. Bezos is making money off of like us, like right now. I don't know.
Get Bezos.
Get Bezos.
Yeah, no joke. If you're just using that, if you're not using your Amazon subscription or Amazon subscription for Twitch or whatever, subscribe to us. That would help us out a ton. Our goal is to get to 10. Why 10? We like the number, and we haven't gotten to 10 yet. We're looking for 100 followers. We need 6 more. We're getting close.
6.
Can you see that?
Is impossible.
You can't see that.
Can you send it? Can you send it on Discord? And I think we can share the screen. Or
you can send it. If you send it to me, I can put it up.
Yeah, he can throw it.
I had but point being was that I had done the female version of my character, and one of the other haunters did me.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was running around going, "Have you seen the doctor?" And then he would walk behind me dressed up as my character.
Oh, that's
pretending
cool.
to be me. Yeah.
Are you
That's
Evil
really cool.
Cheese?
Evil Cheese? Yeah. Yeah, he's the evil cheese.
Send if I'll just
So-
throw it in. Oh, cool.
so
I got it.
So I think on the channel points, people can. I set this up a while ago. People can tell us to hydrate. They can give us pips. They can give us narrative points, which it does describe what those are, but I think people are not reading it.
So awesome.
They might be able to do something else too with it. I'm just not entirely certain. And yeah, I actually have a little sound set up, but I don't know if they actually go when people follow. So if someone's
Look at this.
watching,
I'm
follow
totally
real
green.
quick.
This is awesome.
What? The picture?
I
The
guess
picture.
I got to share my screen with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Really,
cool.
it was only up for a second because I had to leave
That's
because
neat.
technology is stupid and I hate it.
Ah, the
and-
tech.
And I will
Oh, no tech.
I will be right back.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Be right back. Do it.
I will.
So Drizzle,
Yep.
when are you gonna run?
There you go. Yeah,
I
I
don't
can't
know.
wait. No, here it is, by the way. It took me that long. That's how long it took. This image is awesome. Can you talk about this image? I'm sharing it to you guys
Yeah.
on the...
Yeah, I see it.
So, that's the female version of my character, and then Blueberry is the one on the right. He dressed up as Dr. Driz. So, like I said, a lot of the new actors and stuff don't see the female version of my character, so it's always a shock. And so I like to do it once a year, so that way to see who I break, basically. because when I'm walking through the attraction and they come out and then they just stop because it's the female version of my character as opposed to the
That's
thing.
awesome.
And so then this year it was just funny because he was behind me, and so I'd go through and be like, "Have you seen the Good Doctor?" And they'd be like, "Oh, no," and I'd use the techniques against them. I would keep them looking at me and make them look the other way. So when he walked into the room and they turned around, all of a sudden he was there dressed up as my character.
That's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Actually, our goal is 5 subscribers, not 10. It's weird. Huh.
Hmm.
Oh, well. Yeah, we need 5. What can I say? No, that's badass. It's cool that people actually engage and do that at the haunt. And,
Yeah.
go full tilt, because like that, dressing up as your character, it's not like it's easy.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it's easy for you guys, but it wouldn't be easy.
Well,
for
no,
me.
no. I mean, like, you got to think he had to buy most of that stuff to just one night dress up as me.
Right.
I mean, that's because he had to buy pants and a shirt. He did borrow my suspenders and my mask, but other than that, like, he had to buy all that stuff just to one night to dress up as me.
That's very
Like,
cool.
it's not like he's doing it every night. It's a lot of expenditure for just a one-time thing.
Yeah,
Next
Jazzy
year, then.
Cabbage and Max, they totally they went and big time shopped for this. I think it's cool. I don't think we need to wait for Halloween to do another one. I mean, I think if there's a one shot or a game that we can connect in and kind of embody those characters and those people, I think that we do that.
Yeah, why not?
Because
So,
it's
Drizzle,
fun.
when are you thinking about running?
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
run.
know.
Ken
Dude,
took the plunge.
run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got one that I want to do, but I want to do it for the haunt.
Well, that doesn't help.
I know it doesn't help, but I want to do it for the haunt because it involves my character and Nurse Drizzy, and like I wanted to call it advanced actor training, and make.
Oh, I think maybe. Did you tell me about this?
I may have, but I didn't go very elaborate into it.
No, is
because-
it using DreadLore?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it was. It's an elaborate story about Dr. Driz.
We should totally run it on here. I mean, do any of the haunt people watch this?
Not in a while. I had a couple watch back when we were doing Richmond Faye,
Well,
but
that
was
means
only one
it's
or two
safe.
times. Yeah.
Means it's safe.
Oh, to talk about, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically a big escape room thing.
Oh yeah. You told me about it.
Yeah.
You told me.
That
About
I'm.
it. Well, I think you should run it. I think you should run it, or run something, because the plan is to have. We're the main campaign, of course, is the Red Writ.
Red Writ.
The Red Writ. And then the off game is Into Space, which we do need to get back to at some point, although the focus is the Red Writ, of course. The Red Writ. After that, the main game will likely change. It may shift over to Into Space. I don't know. I've got this idea for a vampire game, which I think would be very, very cool. But for one shots, I think it'd be really cool for you guys that or have an interest in running games to stretch your legs and actually throw down. Because it works.
Yeah, you might get me for 1 or 2 a year, maybe 3. And
It's a lot.
like it is a lot. Well, it's a lot for me because I built a world.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
built a world that we went to about half of.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just the way my mind works. It's for the same reason I shouldn't do the fast forwards, because the fast forwards, if I did them, they would be mind fucks. And that, honestly, they should be mind fucks. Like, that's where it should be. Like, if the Patreon people would really, you know, start kicking in, I would dig down and go to mindfuck territory even more than where I'm at right now. Like, I would delve into this like completely immersive world, but as it stands, like I get, you know, 10 hours, 15 maybe a week to put into this, and it's a joy. I enjoy this. I enjoy being able to be Nord and have weird fucking conversations with William Tibbet as
Cool,
he like turns into a spider zombie, and then like arachnids.
Did you know what did either of you know what he was? I mean, it was kind of there, but
yeah, it wasn't a spider zombie. He was a something.
Spider monkey.
Monkey. Yeah, that's it.
Drizzle, anything?
I
You're
mean,
giving me a look.
well, no, I just there's a lot of that sort of stuff in any horror thing, so I can't pinpoint a certain one.
Yeah. So, so tell me more about my game, and the horror genre, because, you know, people will, if people take the time to watch it, and critique it, like, what are we doing? What are we doing right? And what are we doing? What could we do better?
Suspense. Slowness is great for horror. The details and the slowness and the questioning. Anytime that you can get a person to question and like hold in and then doubt themselves, that is horrifying.
Now, I'm about to throw that out the window.
Nice. Go for it.
Now,
because I like suspense, but you know.
Well, this is what I'm going to say, and this is what I say to people at the haunt. Fear is subjective. So what you find scary does not mean everyone finds that scary. Because there are a lot of people who will be like, I don't like slow burn horror movies. I do like slow burn horror movies, so I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that fear is subjective. That's why, like at the haunted house, we jam so many different things in there, because you don't know what one single person is going to be afraid of. What scares one person may not scare another person, so you have other stuff. Variety, I think, is a good way to, like, if you're doing slow burn horror, you stick with it. You sit down and stick with it. But it is subjective, so you can't really tell. You can't say, hey, what you're doing is not scary, because it could be scary to somebody.
Yeah. My response to that is the haunted house is that's third act. You are the characters. So like your customers, the people that go there, they establish the story. So they are the first and second acts. And so it's like they're really third act when they get to you guys.
But if you watch a movie like Terrifier, or because there's some movies out there that are just boom, blood and gore to start out with.
Sure.
So I'm just saying that people like different things.
Sure.
And fear is subjective. Like suspense wise, yes. I mean, that is my bread and butter at the haunted house, because I will sit and stare at someone and I will stare at them,
Sure.
and I will stare at them until they start to become uncomfortable. And then I will continue to stare at them. And then when I go, the tension has built up so much that they drop. I mean, I use suspense in the haunted house. I do that, but it doesn't always work for everybody.
See, you both stare at me quite a bit, or I imagine you are.
Well, that's because you're talking, so we're looking at you.
Sometimes I wonder if the screen has just stalled.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll look over and just will be like this. I'm like,
I'm
Anyway.
surprised that you think that I stare at you at all, because I'm so busy like doing other things that I'm worried about like paying enough attention to what you're saying.
I imagine that everyone is looking at and listening. No, I
listen, stare at you for sure.
you listen, stare. Yeah. So about horror and scaring. I think in this game, especially since we're remote and we don't have as much control of the atmosphere. I mean, Ken has all the control of the atmosphere.
I'm a scary
So
guy. Like
my
literally, I feel like I choose the background and the scary. Not to interrupt you, because that's what I seem to love to do on After Hours. I so apologize for that, but I'm just to defend. The audience gets atmosphere that you guys don't, and
yeah,
so
it's almost two games.
it's it's a different, like, I'm telling a different story than what's actually happening here.
So when running a game, and you normally have control of the atmosphere. So I don't. Instead, it's on you all to create the atmosphere around you. But you're in a comfortable place. You're not scared where you are unless you set it up to be that way. So what I go for is not really scare tactics. Like in Richmond Fay, when it got creepy, I was able to scare people. Because I could we were in a fucking basement that was
Right.
dark, and I could use sound and the music and all those things. But here I can't. So that theater of the mind, it's a lot harder on you all because you have to force yourself to be in the mindset. Instead of scaring, I try to be the creep factor. And the idea of the tension and the apprehension and the anxiety of, wait a minute, my character's getting into this. You guys are getting into your characters. You're able to immerse yourselves in the scene that's going on in your brain. And I can use that creep factor to be like, okay, now you have to make decisions. And that's where any kind of horror and fear kind of exists that I've found. Beyond that, like, I can't scare you. I can't stare at you because you can literally just go like this and look away.
Yeah.
You know, like
I do admit, like, if you're good, like if you're playing the game, to me playing the game is being immersed in it. So as a player character, I know I'm constantly distracted by different things, but I really do try to immerse myself into the fear aspect, because it's like I want to react like I'm scared. I know it's acting. I know that I am not currently scared, like, at any point in time, but I want to elevate the fear in that, like, I think that is important to keep the narrative in game going forward. And I feel like it's frightening to me in that respect. I'm there being scared as the character.
like
So
actually role playing. Holker does
actually
that pretty
role-playing.
well. Holker
Yeah.
does that pretty well with his characters.
Yeah.
Tony is a coward.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Tony and Nord is too. I mean, Nord is like always running. Nord is always
N-
pulling
but
other people
Nord will
out
take a
of
stand
trouble.
though. Nord will take a stand. Nord and Simon are very heroic in that regard,
Yeah.
and Leah is more of an anti-hero.
But yeah,
She's
Leah's frightening.
yeah,
Like Nord
she
is
goes
afraid of Leah.
yeah,
That is a real thing.
she's one of those right, I'm going to go do the dirty thing. You guys are like we have to do the right thing, and Tony's like I just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
But Leah is like getting shit done.
She's a
Like
beast.
seriously.
She's a
Like she's
beast.
getting shit done, and like I respect that. Like throw caution to the wind, but you're learning some stuff. So like
That scene played out differently in my mind. Like
mhm.
I didn't know what was going to happen. When she kept on ignoring the threat and then going deeper, it was more and more likely. And then when it all went down, I was like, okay, where I thought that was going to go is she was going to be down there and you guys were going to have to go get her, which
Yeah.
was going to be a cool, scary scene because you have to go into the basement. Classic. And, you know, you guys
But
were going to, I was
we
actually
were
a little
going
worried.
that way. We
I
were
was actually,
going that way.
I
And
was actually,
Nord went into the house. I mean,
yeah,
that was in it was starting that way, but she made it out before that
exactly.
moment
And
could.
so in that idea, that dynamic, I was like, well, if it goes the direction of you guys have to go get her, the danger is you go down there and no one comes back.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. The
but
basement was a scary place
the
where
basement's a scary place. But what I really enjoyed though is when I flipped it over to Leah to be like, okay, what are you doing? The first thing on her mind, I thought she was going to get up and start killing shit again. The first thing on her mind was, I need to extricate myself. And what's so cool about that is she went into the shit and she took herself out of it. And I think in an interesting way, that's a big win for her. And as far as she knows, that monster she shot is dead. So in a weird way, she kind of won. Of course, I had an idea of what that was, and she didn't investigate because I didn't know if you guys were gonna go back down there,
I
like
wanted to.
Van
I
Helsing
really
style. Like,
wanted to. I
let's
really
go
wanted
down
to.
there now. It's gonna be funny if she blew up the house, because it wouldn't have blown up the basement.
It would have or would not have.
No, I mean it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It would have just blown up like this, and in fact, it probably wouldn't have blown up the house.
I've got
Yeah.
to get
You got to
off
roll.
here, guys. Yep.
It's cool, man. We're gonna bounce pretty soon.
Yeah.
Drizzle, thank you for joining.
No problem. Talk to you guys
Yeah.
later.
Always a pleasure. And as Simon is, he is a great grounding factor in the story, and certainly I appreciate his
Energy.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Later, man.
Bye.
It's so early and feels so late.
Is it early?
Daylight
I
saving.
mean, it's 1 in the morning.
Well,
I
for
still
you.
have like an hour. Like it's an hour. When I hit stop on the thing, I have to go into the computer and put it into the other thing, and then we got to put it in the other thing, and then you have to take the thing and cut it shorter into a little fast forward. So there's all kinds of shit that
There's lots
needs
of
to
stuff
happen
that has to go.
that hasn't happened yet.
Hey, if you
So
guys want to like and subscribe, it would support us.
yeah,
If
the
you want to do the Patreon,
Patreon
it'd be great.
thing is super cool, and
Yeah.
and I definitely appreciate the Patreon. I have yet to really get that. So
Yeah, it still needs a little bit of setting up, but it is. I think we're working towards. We'll do a little bit of a lore dump, for art and a little bit of music, uh, we should do that this month for
Sure.
the people that can actually get it. And then once we have, I think, 4, what are we at, 3? Once we have 5 people in there, we'll do the Discord party. Because right now, like, it doesn't make sense. But I think a Discord party would be really cool once a month.
Sure.
And we can actually
Well,
offer something.
one of the things that I want to do is for each of the regular players, we need to have mics and a way to record the audio like in our home and not just on the stream. So like if we each had, I don't have that issue in recording my audio, but if each person recorded the audio separate, they could send it to me at the end of the night and I could sync it and it would sound better potentially. So that is a short term for the podcast and for the YouTube to potentially get into at some point. I mean, there are so many different details that we can hone in and improve the quality of, and I think that is what the Patreon would drive, is that we are where we are, and I love independent. I love like issues with production. I embrace the flaws. I'm a big flaw embracer. So we are doing it because we can do it. We are privileged and we're rocking it because we have personalities and such like that. But like, wouldn't it be nice to take it to that next level and really make things, I mean, maybe that's just the production. I mean, maybe the horror, like, counterpoint to my own point is that like movies were scarier when things were broadcast, and so when you had to get things and you had the fuzz and the low quality that antenna, not being able to see the monster was scary.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot there. In logistics and such, I think the value that we can bring to people that listen or watch is, on the one hand, it's more contact with what we're doing. So that would be like the Discord party, or the guest stars would be the most intimate, where they're literally playing. A specific campaign is how it would work. And that'd be the top tier, because you can only have so many. The other way is by extra stuff. So art, music, behind the scenes things, which is great. Granted, the art and the music is by and large your stuff. I don't know if Mr. is down to lend that or not. Behind the scenes would be kind of cool stuff we could do. I think it might overlap with the after hours, but we could have like little conversations, or just provide something that is not shown on the weekly. And I think that would be worth it, because these are people that are supporting what we're doing in general.
Sure.
There's
definitely a personal engagement that people would get if they participated.
I mean, it could be a behind the scenes stream, which is literally everything and nothing cut out, for just example.
Sure.
And these are things that we don't have to create in addition to what we're already doing, because like you said, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
These are the extra stuff.
There's absolutely a Patreon level where we could get somebody to see everything we talk about outside of what actually gets streamed. So they would get the conversation and even be able to participate in some way with the conversation in the interstitial areas. So it is definitely something that could occur. So,
and then of course
in that way.
And then, of course, the goal of the Patreon, one, it's to provide that glue of, hey, look, you're a part of this, quite directly. You're benefiting from this. And then, of course, it's funding so that this does not cost us at first. And then that moves on to
Sure. Yeah, we're still in the cost mode. This costs us.
right. So that right now,
I feel like this actually it's expensive, and
yeah.
you're paying for it. I'm paying for it.
So money
and
wise, it's
Daniel
costing.
and Andrea and Drizzle, we're all paying for it in our own way. So
Yeah.
it's certainly an
So
expense.
there's the expense of time. There's a little bit of the money. My point in saying all of this, slowly but surely upgrading the way we can, and the quality of what we do, I think is great. I do think that it's always that balance of, like right now, I have 3 film projects that I'm looking at doing, that that's festering in my mind. And I'm going to do all of them with a fucking iPhone SE, which doesn't have a good camera. But it's what I've got. So I'm sitting here like, well, does it warrant me trying to save up and getting a $2,000 camera? Honestly, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm not there yet. It's not there.
I mean, filmmaker advice: you spend a few $100s in audio and make sure your audio is good. The iPhone SE is fine. I mean,
and that's what I'm getting at. Is
it's fine.
we can improve on loads of stuff, but we got to always maintain that balance of right, but cost effective. Like,
Sure.
we need to keep the hours. This is stuff that we talked about before. We need to keep our hours right now lower and not just add, because we will burn out at some point.
Yeah, for sure. No, I spend much of the day, if I am just a player, doing this. This is what most of the day is.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen like this. This is an alternative way of setting up the system. So and it can be improved. There's improvements that would be made for that, but it doesn't. None of that. I think initially, if the story is what's important, and so like it's keeping the story going and keeping people motivated to be in it, because I promise you that I'm gonna find something that I'm gonna be interested in, and it's gonna happen whether or not people Patreon or not. But the Patreon certainly helps hone in the interest. So
And
it's like
it's also the long haul. Like, that's something that I've noticed with people that you said it from the very beginning. Consistency is the thing. Keep on going, keep on going, and the Patreon is in the long haul.
Right.
And it will grow. If we got 20 people doing the thing, that'd be great, because we're also going to be doing other stuff as well.
Yeah. And it would be neat to it's surprising how little money it takes to change the narrative for the world action. Like we are adjusting our narrative. We are contributing. You are contributing. The whole group is contributing into adjusting the world action of Twitter. And that money in the Patreon, it's not even necessarily, it's allowing for choices to be made to create thought-provoking content that is beyond like stuff that's easy, because like people create stuff that's easy all the time. They don't push problems. And I think one of the things that DreadLore is it embellishes, it embraces issues and problems. It is in a world that is devastated, and if we're gonna create a world that isn't devastated, we're going to have to like understand and work through some of the issues that we have today in order to, you know, avoid falling into the world of Craster and of that which there is no hope, because we have hope. I don't
Yep.
know.
I dig what you're saying. All right. Yeah, I mean, you're espousing the book, and I think that it's not meta. It's literally written there. Like people have asked, why did I create a new tabletop role playing game? And when there's D&D, like why create something new when you already have D&D? And my answer is usually 3 or 4 or 5-fold. But one of them is the setting, not even the setting, the game system of DreadLore is exactly what you just said. You're not just heroes. You're not necessarily the good guys. You are doing great deeds, and what makes you great is the fact that despite the world being what it is, you are still doing great things. Because the fact is, your souls burn brighter. However you want to make that abstraction. If you want to go stoicism, it's because human nature is to be great, and therefore it is your duty to be great. And the only thing standing between you and being great is yourself, because it is literally your nature. People don't
Sure.
suck. The world is not shit. The world is a beautiful place. But if we choose to be assholes, then we start messing it up.
Oh, absolutely.
And there is so much absurdism, and I mean this in the French sense, like the idea of French absurdism, and this meta postmodernism crap of like, I'm not going to take anything seriously, everything's a meme, and if it's not a meme, then you're being extra.
Like they should make an app. I'm stealing somebody's joke, but they should make an app of somebody texting you when the light turns green.
Right.
It's not my joke. I stole it.
That's good.
I stole it from John Cleese's daughter. I went to see, but that was her joke. I mean, and it's a good point. I mean, it's bleak, and it's nice.
That's the thing, is like the world isn't that way. I mean, people talk about the truth of things. There's a meme, because we talk in memes. It's not all bad. In fact, I learn a lot from social media. And there's a lot of communication that's very good from social media, even if it appears bad. A lot of good comes from it, I think. And one of it was the whole adage of time is a construct, that we've literally created, and it goes in the whole thing, and someone thinks that that's profound. And it is profound. It's old hat, no pun intended, but it's profound. This bleak idea is a construct. That's it.
Nice.
And I'm not, I mean, you know me, I'm not a particularly optimistic person, right? But I do get irked. I do get incited a little bit, or just bored to tears, when it seems like a lot of content, it has this feel, like an underlying feel. I'm not talking about genre. It's this feel of the world is shit, and so we're making the best of it type stuff. But everything, it's like the devil or the worst of two evils is everything. To the point where, just to rant a little bit, I was watching a YouTube thing today. This guy, because I was researching the cameras and the little clip-on cameras you can get, or the clip-on lenses. And I was trying to figure out if the moment lenses would be good for this, an anamorphic lens. I don't
Well,
know.
you need a telephone if you're gonna shoot a film. You need a telephoto lens. You don't need to get any wider on your iPhone 6 SE or whatever.
So telephoto lens. It's good to know. Well, this is the
Yeah,
kind of that's exactly the
you
kind of
don't
shit that
you don't need a wider lens. It's plenty wide. It's fine. You're good if you're gonna go in that direction.
So the idea was finding some sort of lens, and this guy, he's a camera dude, and he's talking about it, and he's young and kind of buff, and goes hiking, and all of his B-roll is of his girlfriend out ahead of him hiking, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
Which
see,
is great. I mean,
I
I
read
love it when my girlfriend goes hiking in front of me. I get to
I
look at her
read
the whole time.
I
I'm
read
sorry,
into
go
it.
ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I read into it, and there's a feeling there that I get where it's like the music is just so, everything is just so, the color grading is just so. And this is all intentional because it's going for a feel. And it's kind of making a statement. It reminds me of, it's a facade. I'm not saying it's an intentional one. I mean, the feel is, the genre is, but this underlying things that I'm picking up, which is just my own corollary. There's this feeling of, it's like the world is made of like a plastic bubble, and at any point it can pop, but we're in our own little globe, and look at us. And there's my girlfriend out there walking down, and we hike, and the leaves are falling, we're hiking, and we're telling
You're
you about,
selling a dream.
here's our niche type thing, and check this out, I'm going to talk like this and use cool blue hues. And that's fine. The guy has a lot of subscribers, and he's doing it, but like, it's not real. It's fake. It's a simulacrum. And I think whether it's intentional or not, it's built upon this idea of a postmodern world where we don't trust anything, and we're beyond that. Where not only do we not trust anything, we don't believe in anything. And what we believe is, we're going to make fun of the fact that we don't believe in anything, yet we actually do feel a lot, but we're going to act like we don't. Oh, look at me taking a photo of it. It's meta postmodernism. There's a guy on YouTube that actually explains this really, really well. He's doing the explanation of all these isms, and as he does them, he actually edits in the style he's talking about. An example of meta postmodernism is this, and I'm probably butchering it. Who knows? It's a fucking made up name anyway. It'd be, if we're talking right now, the camera that's over there that shows all the behind the scenes comes on. And so it's that angle. And then, yeah. And then the meta part of it would be yourself later coming in and breaking the fourth wall. Like, it's kind of clever, but it's been overdone. Big rant. I know people will be like, what are you talking about? There's a throughput there. And I think we need to get past it. It's like someone that makes a joke about everything. Like someone who make a joke about everything. They can't take anything seriously.
Sure.
It gets old.
It's some seriousness is well, I mean, in theater of the mind, you have to like buy in a little bit. Somebody has to buy in. If you don't buy in a little bit, then it's
you're not doing it.
Why bother? You're not doing it. You're not playing.
And that is why, just to bring it all full circle, that's why I made this game.
Wrap it up.
Because D&D, most 90% of the games people are not buying in. And you just watch them. It's fucking boring as hell. The personalities might be cool.
Yeah.
But you can have cool stories, obviously, but man. Okay. That's all we got for today. Any last words?
I don't know. I mean, formulaic is fine. My last words are, I've had a solid amount of whiskey, and I got an hour of work in front of me. So
Jump on the Patreon and subscribe.
jump on the fucking Patreon and subscribe. And if you know me, just send me a check. I'll take it.
Just send the money.
Just send me money. You don't have to give anybody else on the stream money. If you like me, I could use the money. I mean, sure, you could support all of us. That's fine too. But
we need to have a tier that's just Ken. Pay
Just
Ken. Just pay
Yeah,
Ken.
no, but I'm all right. I'm getting through it. I'm fine. I'm okay. Because all I do is art for free. I'm fine.
True. It's true. You do art and music for free.
Clearly privileged right here. Privileged motherfucker. Like, I got a good life.
Yeah. You still work for it.
I work for it. I mean, I have to work to live. If I don't work,
it all goes tits up.
I can't pay electricity. Yeah, no, everything falls apart. Got a month or two.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's weird. Like, my last thought is, isn't it strange how we like think about being alive? Like, how many months do you have? Like, how long do you have before this ends and you're like somewhere else?
Yeah.
And then it's bad. The somewhere else is bad.
This would be a beautiful BTS. I think that's what we have to do. We have to jump on and do a behind the scenes that's the nitty gritty real conversation that we literally don't we don't stream it. It's like, and we get down to where we're like, hey, we're gonna do this for an hour and that's it. And it's not streamed content. It's provided if you do the Patreon.
Sure. Oh yeah, we can go
or maybe
dark.
Like specific.
We go the real.
Yeah, shit like that. All right, we're gonna get off here. Or wait. We could do an after hours. We only do it for 30 minutes, streamed, and then the rest of it
every after hours.
Well, check it out. We do it for whatever it is, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, streamed, and then the rest of it, that's the BTS.
Sure.
So the full after hours, you get that, but it's actually cut off at a point. It's like, hey, if you want more, then you can jump on the stream or jump on the Patreon.
Sure.
That's what we do. That's what we're gonna start doing from now on. Ha ha.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Well, this stream has been brought to you by DreadLore Core Book and Soap Scum. Thanks, Soap Scum, for supporting this week's show. The Red Writ, which is
the Red Writ.
The Red Writ. And to all those who participated in our wonderful cast, thank you for volunteering your time. And music by all lowercase letters and Misterinterrupt, as well as Patreon members. Nostalgic, I would like to add you to the Tim Roberts and Daniel Holcomb moment that I just showed. Couchfire Media has brought the production, art, etc. And Terrible production is, how do you say it? Just say it.
Terrible.
Just say it.
You can say Terrible or Terrible.
Terrible. Productions.
Making micro
some
docs and web series, short films.
Making some mother
fucking
freaking content.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.